Okay, hello everyone. Today we will be talking about the role of physical activity on mental health. So, just as a brief introduction, it is important to define what physical activity is. And this refers to various forms of movement and exercise that overall just promote physical and mental well-being. So, some examples of this are like yoga, strength training, like weightlifting, even just walking and running, and then different sports. I know like pickleball has been super big recently, but just anything that kind of just gets you outside. It could be biking, skateboarding, roller skating, anything like that. So, when I refer to physical activity, it's not just running or going to the gym. Like some people think it's just overall this activity. So, physical activity has been shown to reduce depression, anxiety, and stress by boosting certain mood regulating chemicals in your brain. And this also enhances your memory, your attention, and your emotional regulation. So it also works as a protective factor to help manage conditions like depression and anxiety, as well as other mental health challenges, and can also promote and improve social connections and your self-esteem. So overall, this can be integrated to complement therapy as it often boosts resilience and manages stress. And this has been studied and proven for many, many years in a variety of different studies. So first to look at the theoretical backgrounds and perspectives behind this connection between physical activity and mental health. The first framework we're looking at here is just the developmental psychopathology framework, which just kind of looks at how risk factors such as like genetic predispositions or environmental stressors help interact with protective factors such as like resilience and social support, in this case, physical activity, which can reduce the risk of these mental health disorders across a lifespan, especially for more vulnerable populations. There's also the ecological systems theory, which is coined by Rothenberger, which suggests that development is shaped by various environmental systems. And so physical activity in this sense can be seen as a way to engage with multiple layers of this environment, from individuals' health to like overall just broader societal layers, and just helps support different communities, which impacts mental health at many different levels. Then lastly, we're looking at the psychosocial model, excuse me, which was coined by Engel. And this model, essentially, like emphasizes the interplay of biological, psychological, and social factors, which we will again look at later. But it overall just supports the idea that physical activity influences mental health by affecting the body, which is biological, mood and stress, which is psychological, and social connections, which is obviously social. So overall, looking at all of these, it's clear that exercise and just physical activity can act as a very holistic intervention for improving mental health across many different domains. So we're going to look at the different systems that I mentioned previously, and the first one we're looking at is the biological factors, and notably neurotransmitters. So physical activity increases the release of neurotransmitters such as serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins, which we know plays a crucial role in regulating a person's mood and emotions. And for people struggling with mental health challenges, these chemicals are often dysregulated. So have integrating a physical activity into your life can help regulate these per se. It also helps with brain plasticity, and it's been shown to support neurogenesis, which is the growth of new neurons, and improve brain plasticity, particularly in areas related to memory, emotional regulation, and stress response. And so this biological mechanism can enhance cognitive functioning and emotional resilience overall. And lastly, for the biological factors, we're looking at the hormonal balance as well, which has been proven that regular physical activity can balance cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone, as well as other hormones that are involved in stress responses, which can, again, reduce the impact of chronic stress on mental health. Next, to look at the psychological factors. I've already touched on this a little bit, but and again, physical activity can help improve your mood and self-esteem. And again, this is because of the release of endorphins, and this can enhance as well your self-esteem and your self-worth by providing this sense of accomplishment and control, even if it's just something small like walking for 30 minutes a day or walking your dog. It also, again, helps with stress reduction, and it acts as a natural stress reliever and helps people manage their anxiety and depressive symptoms. And it's a very healthy coping mechanism, which could be used to combat certain negative thinking patterns. And again, it has many cognitive benefits. Overall, it's associated with mental health, with helping mental health disorders, alleviating symptoms, and it encourages a positive shift from worry and depression to more positive feelings and like achieving a goal. Lastly, to look at the social factors, there are many social factors that can be connected with physical activity. For one, social interaction, as exercising as a group, such as just going to a gym or team sports or fitness classes like Pilates. These can help build social connections, which can reduce feelings of isolation and loneliness, and also help build supportive relationships through the shared interest in physical activity. I know for me personally, I always tend to work out better if there's someone doing it with me because it's kind of like they hold me accountable and keep me motivated. Furthermore, there's also community support. And so like having access to safe spaces for exercise like gyms or parks or different like programs can also help boost physical activity levels and like create a sense of belonging within these communities that further works to enhance an individual's well-being. And lastly, also looking at social support, which kind of plays on both the 2 points I mentioned earlier, but encouragement from friends and family or different fitness groups can help maintain this consistent physical activity, which overall, again, benefits your mental health. So now to look at the impact on individuals as well as society. As I've mentioned previously, it reduces symptoms of depression, anxiety, and stress, improves memory, attention, executive function, and sleep quality. So that's just overall emotional well-being, and again acts as a protective factor against mental health disorders. But then looking at society as a whole, in some sense, depending on how you look at it, it can actually reduce healthcare costs because it has all these benefits, and you don't necessarily have to like pay for a gym membership, pay for these courses. It's small things that you can do on your own, like going for a walk, going on a jog, riding a bike, things like that. So by integrating these practices into your life, it can lead to overall lower healthcare expenses, which, if you look at it, can reduce the economic burden on the healthcare system as a whole. Um, when looking at the workspace as well, mentally healthy individuals are overall more productive in the workplace. And so, by more people exercising and more people building their productivity, this would lead to a higher economic output as a whole, because they combined all these factors. And once again, it also strengthens social connections, such as these group activities, community sports. Just having this social interaction can work to reduce loneliness and strengthen community bonds. And it also promotes reduction of stigma as well as more resilient and safer communities. So it can also work to normalize conversations about mental health, reduce this stigma, and kind of normalize physical activity as an appropriate way to deal with certain mental health struggles and cope with challenges, which overall works to contribute to improving societal resilience. Next, to look at the interventions and applications, so how this can be like integrated into different practices. One major one that has gained popularity in recent years has been like mind-body interventions, such as like yoga, tai chi, or just other like martial arts kind of based practices. And a lot of these don't only focus on the physical aspects, but also like work on practicing mindfulness, which reduces stress. There's examples of this, such as certain trauma-sensitive programs that have been specifically tailored to people with PTSD. And so this combines certain mental exercises on top of the physical exercises to create like a more well-rounded approach. And so just combining this like different movement, meditation, breathing exercises can overall be a very effective treatment. There's also integration of this connection into community and school programs. For example, there's Active Minds on Campus, which is a group that combines physical activity with mental health education and peer support for college students, which again works to reduce stigma and promote individuals' well-being. There's also many sports-based programs for youth, which are very popular. So like these team sports or individual athletic activities, which help build resilience, confidence, and social skills in children and adolescents. There's some great examples of this, such as the group called Girls on a Run, which combines physical activity with lessons for self-esteem and growth setting for girls and women. And then lastly, integrating it into healthcare. So like kind of looking at exercise as a prescription. So it's helpful when healthcare providers prescribe physical activity as part of a treatment for conditions like depression, anxiety, or chronic stress. But I want to mention here that it is also important to explain to people how this works, so they kind of understand like you're not just going on a run to go on a run. You're going on a run because it does X, Y, Z, and this will help you overall. So just kind of like promoting this education as well around it. And then a great example of this, which I was looking into, was this green prescription program, which is found in New Zealand, where patients are just encouraged to engage in outdoor activities. Next, to look at the applications in therapy specifically. One element of this is creating personalized exercise plans as part of your treatment. And so this would be working with a professional, keeping in mind like your individual fitness level, your different interests, and your mental health needs, to create the most effective plan possible for integrating physical activity as part of your treatment into your daily lives. This can also be combined with talk therapy. So like pairing this physical activity with these CBT or like different types of counseling can overall improve outcomes as well. But it's also important to like monitor the progress here. You can like do personal self-reports or tracking progress through different apps and things like that. So just making sure you cover all your bases there. So oftentimes incorporated into group therapy as well, such as like going on hikes with a group, horseback riding as a group, just things that get you outside, out of a classroom or office setting to integrate physical activity into the program as well, such as like holistic wellness programs, which address physical and mental health by integrating like education around nutrition, sleep, and exercise into these therapies. And lastly, too, looking at crisis management, several studies have shown, based on the COVID-19 crisis, where individuals who integrated physical activity into their daily lives when they're like quarantined or home, like just walking every day, can greatly help improve your mental health and help combat these negative emotions that come with this isolation. So, in conclusion, physical activity enhances mental health by improving mood, reducing stress, and boosting brain function. This benefits individuals through emotional well-being in society by reducing healthcare costs and fostering community resilience. Then, integrating exercise into therapy offers an overall holistic, accessible, and cost-effective mental health tool. And so, expanding it normalizes physical activity as a key part of mental health care and recovery. So that is all for my presentation. Here are the sources that I used. And thank you so much for listening.